Brightest light blessings, dear ones. We are here for you now, embracing your hearts, embracing you, holding you close, embracing. And in our embrace, you feel the love, you feel the light, you feel the truth. You feel the very essence of your beingness. You feel Source Infinite coursing free and true within you. And we remind you here and now that this experience, this truth, this recognition of feeling Source Infinite coursing like a mighty river through you, with you, in you, as you, we remind you that this is always real, that this is always true, that it has been true throughout the ages, that it is infinitely true, infinitely real. Source within you, as you, is the most real thing, if ever there was a thing, that there is. And of all the things that you try so hard to focus on, that you try so hard to remember, of all the things that you give your attention to, there is this one thing. There is this one thing that we would invite you toward remembering, reminding yourselves of, calling your attention to. And that is this truth. That Source Infinite vibrates through you, with you, in you, as you, always. In all ways. Beyond time, beyond space, beyond form. Beyond all. You are Source Infinite. The Source breathes through you. And in your tapping into this experience, you feel all that is. You feel alive, you feel Source, you feel love, you feel light. And in the feeling of this experience, you recognize that it is your truth, your authenticness. And you begin to come home to your true authority. If ever there was anything that we would wish for you, it is that you would know this truth in every fiber, in every cell, every aspect of your being. And that the first thought that would come across the landscape of your mind upon waking each day would be this thought. The thought of you recognizing yourself as the light beings that you are. The thought of recognizing yourself as source, infinite light, pure love, in human form. And if you could remember this, if you could focus on this, if this would be the first thought that would continue to play on loop through the consciousness of your mind, can you begin to feel how strong, how courageous, how powerful and empowered you would feel? Because in the knowing of yourself as source, you also know that you are completely limitless. You are boundless. You are infinite. Infinity, here in finite form. And what a gift it is to be here in this form, in this current time-space reality that you are now experiencing on your earth. In the vastness of infinity, of course, there is no time. But on the earth plane, here in your human experience, you experience time. You have put constructs around this concept of time. And for the most part, you see time as something, you experience time as something that is quite linear. And we have mentioned this to you before, and it bears repeating, that in the cosmic nature of all that is, in the infinite realms of all that is, time is not at all what you perceive it to be. In fact, it is quite indescribable. But because you experience and you see time as a linear construct, something that moves along a line, that has a beginning and potentially an end. And this is how you experience your days. You wake up, you move through the day, you bring yourself back into restful slumber in the evening. And this looks as if it was a line of experience. This day in your timeline of experience. And we would invite you to allow yourself to suspend from this idea of linear time and see time, if you need to put any kind of a contextual reality toward it, start to see it as circular and then start to see it as spiraling. And it is continuously flowing. There is truly no beginning and no end. And the spirals intermix and intertwine and play with one another. And there is a multiplicity of time reality. You have an expression around this idea of time. We have heard you say you wish to bend time. And we say this is actually quite accurate. Because time does not flow in a linear sense. Experience flows in spiral context. And you see in the spiraling of time context, there are bends, yes? And why? Why is it that you wish to bend time? What do you mean when you say you wish to bend time? Usually it is because you feel you are in lack of time in some way, shape, or form. You feel you wish to expand time. You wish there were more time in one day. And we would ask you, if we were to suddenly say, here you go, here are more hours in one day, instead of your current context of 1 day's worth of time hours, we are gifting you 10 more time hours per day. And now your days are much more expanded. And how do you feel? How does this feel to you to have more time in your day? How does this feel to you to have this expansion? At first, we feel that you would be so excited to have more time in one day. But as that would continue, it would become what it is to you now. It would be the constructs that you have placed on the time experience of one day. And suddenly, it wouldn't feel as though we ever gifted you this extra amount of hours for your construct of 1 day's worth of time. It would simply feel like what is. Can you see how this would happen? It would, yes. And so what we are inviting within you is to see that it truly has nothing to do with the constructs that you put around the time. In fact, you pay far too much attention to time itself. If you allowed yourself to soften around this idea of time as much as you possibly could, if you allowed yourself to flow instead with the current of Source Infinite that is always in full live stream within you, if you could allow yourself to give yourself to that flow and harmonize with the natural timing of what is flowing within you and release yourself from the constructs of time, as it were, on a clock or in the space of a day, if you would just flow along with what is feeling inspired, most inspired, following the natural rhythm of the earth cycles that are flowing around you, the natural rhythm of the day cycles that nature reflects to you. If you would throw your clocks away, in fact, if you would not pay so much attention to the time that is on your watch, but you would allow yourselves to find a way to create life in such a way that you just allow for the alignment, for following the inspired flow of alignment within you. If you could bring yourself to the even the noticing of this flow that is so alive and so palpable within you, if you could bring yourself to that awareness, we promise you, you would recognize you have, in fact, bent time. Because the key is not in the needing of more hours in one day. It has nothing to do with this. In fact, it has everything to do with forgetting about that completely. Forget about the time, forget about the clock, forget about the linear structure, and allow yourself to come into alignment with the natural rhythm and the natural flow that is so alive and well within you and is reflected to you here in this most beautiful, potent earth reality. And we understand there are red flags and alarms and beeps going off all over the place within the constructs of your mind as you are receiving these words now. And we understand why that is, because you are saying, but how can this be possible? I understand if I have no duties or obligations or responsibilities to show up at any one place at any given time, well then yes, I can just sit and I can harmonize with the inner alignment of my natural rhythm, and I can watch the passing, the rising of the sun and the falling of the sun, and I can design my days accordingly. But I do have duties and I do have obligation and I do have responsibility. So how is it then that I can completely allow myself to soften in this area? How can I throw my watch away, as it were, and not look at the clock upon the wall? How is it that I can live this life? And we would just say to you, how many minutes, if you are still looking at it as such, of the day do you have where there is freedom? And be honest with yourselves about this. You see, there is more freedom of choice and there is more time available to you than you are allowing yourselves to utilize in the most aligned way. You may have a certain amount of your day that is structured around what you consider work, and you go to your job and you are responsible to be there for that amount of hours. So that is something that is in the nature of what you have constructed as a time, as in clock time. But within the constructs of that amount of time, how much time are you centered and focused on the exactness of your work, and how much of your time is there also this inner flowing of your natural rhythm? And could you be engaging more of your natural rhythm even within the constructs of your work lifetime? What would it look like if you allowed for the creative, inspired alignment from within to constantly be engaged and infused into every aspect of what it is that you are doing? And are there times throughout your days where you are not pinpointed to a specific appointment detail, a specific duty, obligation, or responsibility? Are there moments of time within your days that would be considered free? Can you find even 5 minutes of your time that could be considered as free? Or are you booked so entirely, precisely, and tightly that every single minute of your day is completely scheduled to duty, obligation, and responsibility, with absolutely no time for you to reflect inward and allow the creative, intuitive flow of your alignment to be more fully acknowledged and engaged? If this is so, if you look at every minute of your day and every single moment is so fully aligned in the area of duty, obligation, and responsibility, and there is no time for you to consider what is most inspired and flowing within you, we would truly invite you to allow yourself pause, to allow yourself to step back and ask yourself, what is it that I am creating here? And is what I am creating what I feel most aligned and most inspired toward? Because we assure you, this construct of time and this notion that you have wrapped around time that has to do with duty and obligation and responsibility, we assure you that you are putting unnecessary burden on yourselves. And in this application of unnecessary burden, you are disallowing your true nature to be vibrating and engaged through you. And in that, you are suppressing the very nature of your being. You are suppressing the very purpose of your life experience here on the earth plane, which is to live in joyful expansion. Here you are in this earth plane, experiencing life for the expansion of infinity. You are light. You are infinity. First and foremost, this is the essence of your very being. And by your choosing, you have come here to this earth plane to have experiences. And we wonder, we ask you, do you really think? Do you really consider that you came here for this experience only to fill your pages with detailed duty and obligation that may or may not be congruent and in accordance with, in alignment with what it is that your heart and your soul are truly calling you toward. And to use this expression of time again, we would say, if that is what you are consciously choosing, or it is what you are choosing without much consciousness, we would say to you, we would ask you, is this a waste of your time? You see, for us, it is easy. There is no such thing as a waste of time because time does not exist. And we are perfectly, completely, utterly okay with the idea that in your idea of time, that lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes pass, and you continue and continue and continue and continue in the same loop of repetition, always feeling underneath that there is something more, a different way of experiencing, a deeper way of experiencing, a different avenue of creative expression. But we put that on the back burner because, well, we are too busy. There is too much going on. We have too many other things to focus on. And so that continues to be pushed aside when in reality, that is what needs to come to the front. Because when we allow the creative essence of who and what we really are to come to the front of our experience, then what we create through our life reality, through the experience, is so much more fulfilling, and we don't feel like we're putting anything off. We feel as though we are expanding in the true nature of our beings, and we are having much joyful, much more joyful experience in the creation of it. And so again, from our perspective, it does not matter one bit whether you do this or you do not do this. Because ultimately, in the infinite cycle, in the infinite spiraling, continuing reality, there is no construct or constraint of time. All you have is time, you see. Layers and layers, multiplicity, multiple realities, all synergistically woven together in the spiraling of infinite creation. And the dance is beautiful from where we perceive. We bring this forward into your attention because we know that many times you ponder, you reflect, you worry, you doubt, you question. How is it that you are using your time? Is there something that draws you forward, that is begging you forward from deep within yourselves, asking you to focus in another direction, to focus more intently on what feels more inspired and more aligned from within? And because we know that you have these questionings from deep within, we bring this to your attention so that you can shift gears if that is what you choose to do. There is really nothing to do. There's nothing that you have to do. You're not running out of time. You are completely free, you see. And when you come into this knowing, into this recognition that truly you are completely free and completely infinite, then this allows you to release yourself somewhat, does it not? From feeling burdened by time. And if there is a gift that we could give you now, it would be the gift of you recognizing your freedom. Feel your freedom. And in the feeling of that freedom, experience what it is to feel completely liberated. In the highest, truest sense, feel your freedom. Feel your light. For as many moments as you can, feel your light. Feel your freedom. And when something starts to come into the constructs of your mind, across the landscape of your mind, that interrupts that feeling of freedom, that feeling of light, that feeling of liberation, breathe. Take another deep breath and breathe yourself back into the true essence of your being that is there for you always, infinitely, eternally, present. And feel that freedom again. Feel the liberation. And as you give yourself this experience, give it to yourself over and over and over again. This is a gift that never stops giving. Allow it to continue to breathe life into your consciousness. Literally breathe yourself awake. Breathe yourself into the consciousness of your light. Breathe yourself into the recognition of the freedom that is your essence. And know that that freedom is within you. It cannot be taken away by anything or anyone outside of yourself. You can suppress your own freedom if you choose. But by the power of your choosing, you can choose your freedom and your liberation from within. And we recognize that these words feel too simple as they cross the landscape of your thoughts, and your mind, and your processing. But we promise you they are more powerful. These words are powerful. And you will feel the power in this experience if you allow yourself the gift. Allow yourself to take this breath, to breathe into your light, to breathe into your freedom, the sense of liberation that is pulsing and coursing from the core of your being. Breathe into that and allow it to become more real with every breath. And just watch what happens. Observe. If you allow yourself just three conscious breaths upon waking each day before you allow your foot to touch the earth and walk through the experience of your day, if you allow yourself 3 conscious breaths, bringing you into conscious waking alignment with the truth of what truly is always anyway, that you are light, that Source infinitely lives and breathes through you, with you, in you, as you. And that this very recognition is what ignites your recognition of freedom and liberation from within. 3 breaths each and every day upon waking. We promise you this will change the way that your life is in flow. And then through the course of your experience, when you face contrast, gap, fear, doubt, worry, confrontation, bring yourself to these 3 breaths again and remind yourself first who and what you really are. Repeat to yourselves, I am Source Light. I am Source Infinite. Love, light, truth. I am. Here and now, I am. In the essence of my being, I am free. In the essence of my being, I am liberated. Here and now, I am. Light, I am. Love, I am. Truth, I am. Source, infinite. I am in this human form. Source infinite, I am. Choose to repeat these powerful statements to yourselves. Claim them, repeat them aloud. Allow your ears to hear the truth in your words, the truth in your voice, frequency. Allow the cells of your being bodies to resonate with the frequency of these words coming into sound through the breath of your being. Powerful these words are. So powerful, in fact, that when you first begin to repeat these words, you may notice within your body emotions that feel a bit unsure in the repeating. Just breathe into those emotions. Accept, acknowledge, give gratitude for those emotions. And teach yourself on every level to trust in the source light of your being. You see, in the repeating of these words, you are waking up to yourself. You are allowing the essence of your true nature to be fully ignited, engaged, and awakened within you. And as you allow this empowerment from within, everything shifts. You become more of who and what you really are. And anything that stands within you to get in your own way begins to evaporate. The lines around which you adhere yourself to so tightly begin to soften. And in that softening, you begin to embody that feeling of complete freedom, infinite freedom. You see, even saying complete freedom, complete gives a construct. It feels like it is shaped and formed and complete in the sense of something that cannot even be complete. So we shift that vibration from complete freedom, which feels much too finite, to infinite freedom, which allows only for greater and greater and greater and greater expansion. It does take practice, it takes training. You are here in this human form, and as part of this human experience, there is a retraining in the remembering and in the reminding to yourselves of who and what you really are. So as you journey forward here, now in this time-space reality, we encourage you towards steadfastness. We encourage you toward your inner determination. We encourage you toward attuning yourself with the literal fire of your creative force, what is inspired from within. And commit to yourselves to nurturing that creative fire, to literally embracing and breathing life into your creative fire. And as you do, it grows and it expands. And greater potential and opportunity opens to you. Be diligent. Be diligent in your awakening. Be diligent in your remembering. Be diligent in the practicing and the training of yourselves to fully embody the essence of who and what you really are. Practice yourselves into the remembering, so that the first thoughts that cross the mind are those that attune yourself ever more, higher and higher, to the source, infinite, love, light, truth, nature within you. That which you truly are. And as you navigate forward, allow yourself to trust in the clear sight from within and the clear hearing from within. Remind yourselves to see through the eyes of Source, to listen through the heart of Source. Allow for your inner truth and your inner guidance to be free flowing within you. Nurture that relationship, trust that relationship. Embrace and give gratitude for that relationship. The relationship within yourselves, between you and you, between yourself and Source, within you, through you, with you, as you. Stay the course. Remember that what you perceive as an ending is simply a new beginning. And that transformation in the light is always at hand. It is in the power of your choosing. Awaken and choose with your full awareness. Choose in consciousness. In the growing truth of your love light reality. All is well. All is well, dear ones. Allow yourselves Allow yourselves to steep in, to bask in, to breathe into your divinity. Breathe into the beauty that you are. Embrace your love light nature and let yourselves shine. You are here for this human experience. Why not allow yourselves to fully enjoy the ride? Present, awake, and aware. Seeing love light not only in yourselves, but in every creature that surrounds you. Choosing to see love light in all, for all. And as you do, encouraging your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors, your friends, your loved ones, all to do the very same. Ignite your light and encourage others to do the same. In total freedom, with no attachment to outcome. Just shine, just be, just allow. And by grace, by the source infinite nature of all that is, all is well. Be steadfast. Stay the course. With joyful determination, allow the source infinite love light truth within you to guide your way on to infinity and beyond. We are a reflection of the light in your souls. We are the voice of the cosmic soul. You are the children of the universe. We are. You are. You are we are you, we are one. One creation, infinitely. All love, there is all love, infinite love for you here, now, and always. Blessed be, dear ones, blessed be. And so it is.